Hey Specs Drummer, do my it's me, Specs here. Coming to this video. I am finally making some more D&D characters for my D&D universe. In this video, it was a redesign and a redraw. The redraw was a D&D grug, which is basically a humanoid frog creature. And then the redesign was a was Joe's was going to be Joe's original submission, but he's changed it 2 times. It's now a I'm talking for the mission for the Popcross Studios community redraw. But he changed it, and I got the original version. I got the okay to give it a. I turned his original submission into a war forward, but also I got the permission to use his second version as a if I remember correctly, as the thing's familiar. So yeah, I really liked the second drawing. Now without further ado, let's get into this video and let's go. And roll intro. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Okay, but before we do get into the video, this first bit is actually Joe's original character, which is Joey the Grug. So let's get into the video. Now, I did forget to mention that both are from Joe, but the first one is his first ever original D&D character, and the second one is a redesign of his 2 original submission ideas. But Grace Daddy came up with a third one, and that one is going to be his submission, which is his submission. But without further ado, let's actually get into the speed paint part of this video. Let's go. Hey, it's me, Dynamos, and I'm back. Okay, sorry. Well, for the record, I'm known as DM again. And, the first one I'm going over is a relatively interesting fellow. This guy was around the 1600s. Yeah, pretty old. Matter of fact, he's already dead. But he made a lasting impact on a small country known as Russia. Now, Russia has a lot of wilderness, and the thing is relatively big, but population-wise, but very small. It has big communities here and there sprinkled out, but most of it's forest. Maybe around 1,000 miles across and 1,000 miles going up and down in each direction. Yeah, it sounds big, but this world is very, very large. I'm talking about the size of Jupiter. And yeah, I know that other people... I am an overseer, so I can modify the world however I want. Now, this guy is a race called a grug. Grugs are humanoid frog-like creatures. And let's just say he was born there in Russia, in the Russian swamp, which was notoriously for freezing over. And also, he started a war in the 16th century for, get this, communism. You heard me right. This guy's a communist. People call him, can't really remember what they call him, but they are very, very... Well, for the record, Gregs are classified and separate them out depending on their color. The color of their skin. Don't really know why, but just something I do. But, he is a red grug, so I don't really know what he does. But, he's actually a wizard. Now, he's a historical figure because he united, every single grug and every single, mainly grugs in Russia. And he actually made this place a communist. He saw that not everyone was being treated equal and thought the best way was through communism. He grew up in a family of red grugs that were all wizards. And he soon picked up the wizard hat and found he was actually more adept at magic than any of his other family. Matter of fact, he was so good he could learn from multiple different classes of magic and multiple schools. He's a very powerful opponent, but he only could expand his lifespan so much. 1 second, I forget how long the average grug lives. Oh yeah, now I remember. They reach adulthood around 1 year in, but they live to be around 50 years. So, yeah. And this guy expanded his lifespan to around double that, so 100 years. But he also matured a lot faster, so only in 6 months he reached adulthood. And he was not at his prime, but he was at his near peak of his power. Now, after that 1 year, he already learned pretty much everything you could think of. His intelligence was really high, and higher than your average grug, well higher actually. So, he started the war to spread communism, aka the Communist War. There was a lot of adventurers that are still alive today, weirdly enough. They're all minor gods or demigods by now. The reason why is because they stopped a very powerful ancient creature, and since that happened, the gods gave them a blessing to make them either a minor god or a demigod below them. So, yeah, they are very powerful now. I might talk about some of them later, but, oh, trust me, that was also a very interesting, thing, because I also had some other people from another universe come over. But anyways, those guys, well, Greg, soon, like I stated, united every single grug under communism in Russia. So, yeah. And also, his name is Joey. Yeah, you heard me right. The guy's name is Joey. So, yeah, that's all I could think. That's all I got. And the way he started the war was by attacking a very powerful leader of another nation. So, yeah. Well, I don't really know much about that, but I'm pretty sure he did cause the war. I know he caused the war and all that, but I forget how. All I remember is that he started the war, and hey, I wasn't around during that time. Now, the next one is a little more interesting. This guy is a warforged. He is a very rare one at that, and the fact that he actually has emotions. I got some dialogues from him. Dialogue, day 1. Warforged, number 14. Name is Foxby. I believe, anyways. I'm trying to remember. What was that guy's name? The thing takes forever for me to remember the thing's name. What was it? Oh, yeah. Warforged. Foxby, number 14. Dialogue, day 1. I was created into this world, and everything is peaceful right now. But then there's a few dialogues missing all the way up to day 15. Day 15, we're under attack. It's been 5 days since the siege has started. Dialogue, day 300. Everyone else is destroyed or dismantled. I'm going to hibernation mode for a while, and this place is starting to fill with water. Hopefully I will awaken soon. 5 years later, Warforged, Foxby number 14 powering on. Foxby number 14 has awakened, and he sees a party in front of him. And after that, party of adventurers in front of him. He now joins the adventure to stop a powerful being and fight a war. Now, Foxby is like I said, is a warforged, but he's a very interesting one. He modified his arm for a whip, actually. He's a fighter/rogue multi-class guy. That's why I say he's a rare one. Now, he has a familiar. It's actually it's only a very rare hybrid in this world. It's a dire fox, basically a giant fox. It has a stinger of a bee. I'm talking a very big bee. Pretty much imagine the size of your fox and double the size of the tail, but keep the lightness of it. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And these things can be pretty vicious when their owner or their pack is threatened. They're about half the size of a dire wolf. So, yeah, very, very freaky creatures. But in reality, when you get rid of their stinger, they're actually relatively playful. Even as pups, they're playful. I got some more notes on him. I like the fact that he is he's only around 6 years old now. And a few adventures he's been on include, but are not limited to, actually stopping that war that he was going to go fight in. Turns out it was all a masquerade to get them there. Turns out Foxby is actually one of the very few Warforged still around. Most of the Warforged were created for, well, you guessed it, war. And this was where all of his brethren were going off to. That old place he was in was an old Warforged factory. He decided to head back and see if we could figure out how to fix it and make it start working again. So he did that, but everything is not coming out as right. He managed to make a few other Warforged, which later become their own party, known as the Warforged 15 Warforged. But there's actually there are actually 3 others he created that actually helped him start making Warforged armor. They couldn't make actual real life living Warforges, so they made armor. Now, Foxby number 14 does still go out and about and go on adventures every now and again. Matter of fact, in his most late adventure, that's actually where he met his pet, the Foxby. That's how his color scheme was actually inspired by a Foxby. Foxbys are very rare, for the record. Now, I don't really have anything else on these creatures, and Foxby number 14 myself, but I gotta say, the guy's pretty impressive. Well, that's all for now. This next part before the outro is Joe's design of my first ever DnD character. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video, because that's all the time I got for today. Until next time, subscribe to Jonas Army or Dumas Lance. Goodbye, and peace out, everyone.